In this video, we're going to take a quick look at unit vector. So if, let's say we're going to start with this vector here, vector v. You can see right here, we got the components 4i plus 3j. So if we're to draw that out, we've got our horizontal distance here is 4. And since it's positive, we're going to the right. Our vertical distance here to get to the head of our vertex is, we got 3j there, so it's a positive 3. We're going up 3. And we know that if we were to do Pythagorean theorem, we would find the magnitude of our vector would be 5. So how does that relate to unit vector? Well, let's say we need to find the unit vector for vector v. Well, a unit vector is a vector only 1 unit long. It still points in the same direction as the original vector. So just like anything else in math, when we talk about its unit, we're talking about just a unit of 1. So that means we have to take this vector, which has a magnitude of 5, and find what are the components if we shrink that down so it has only 1 unit for magnitude. So first we have to find the actual magnitude of the vector, which we've got 5 there. Now we're just shrinking that down to 1. So we're taking the magnitude of our vector, 5, and we're dividing it by itself to get that distance of 1. So let's go ahead and draw in a new vector here for our unit vector. Okay, so now we have new components for x and y to get to the head of our vector here. Well, it's a pretty simple way to find those values for x and y. We took 5 and we divided by 5 to get 1. Now, this triangle here, this vector, is going to be proportionate to this one here because they have the same angle. So if we divided this by 5, we're going to divide 3 and 4 by 5 as well. So we're going to get x is equal to 4 over 5, and y is equal to 3 over 5. So pretty simple. Again, we want to find the unit vector here. So we divide this by itself. That means we have to divide these by our magnitude as well. Okay, so if we need to find a vector of length 10 in the same direction, so we still got the original vector, and now we're not finding a unit vector with a length of 1, we're finding a vector with length of 10. So we're going to take our unit vector. So again, we already found that we took the magnitude of our original vector and divided our coefficients, or excuse me, components for I and j, those coefficients, and we divided by that magnitude, so we got 4 over 5 and 3 over 5. And so now if that's our unit vector of length 1 and we want length 10, now we're just going to multiply these two by 10. And so we end up with, once everything's simplified, 8i plus 6j. We could also see in this case, because we found out that the magnitude here was length 5, well, we just have to double that to get length 10. So in this case, we could have just recognized that and doubled the 4 and 3 to get 8 and 6, but that's not always going to be the case. So a lot of times we might need to get the unit vector first and then multiply accordingly. So quick recap, unit vector is a vector that is 1 unit long. To find that unit vector, well, we use a symbol, or we use u as our unit vector, and v is our original vector that we're given. So to find that unit vector, we take the components in our original vector and divide them by the magnitude of that vector. And then if we want to find a vector of another length, we're going to take this value from unit vector and multiply by whatever length we were trying to find.